Hi, today is April 1st, and I have been a banjo player for 3 months. And I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. I really want to keep these under 10 minutes. And I have 2 songs to play for you, so I have to allow time for that at the end. It's been a really fun month. I got mobile with my banjo. I had to buy a case for it because I didn't have a case for it because we went out of town for a couple nights, and I have not missed a day of practicing this entire calendar year so far, and I was not going to start missing a day last week when we traveled. So I got a case and took the banjo with me and practiced where we were staying, and so it's nice because now I can go places. Before I was just like having to cram it into here to practice time here at our house. And then I purchased a new thumb pick, which I've been getting used to. It actually was the most expensive accessory I've purchased so far. It was $40, and if you remember, my strings, all 5 strings, are like under $7. So it was a $40 thumb pick, but I like it a lot better. It's louder. It's taking some getting used to, just the volume difference, but it hugs my thumb really tight, or really securely, I should say. And the pick part sticks out, substantially. The old thumb pick that I was using, when it came over the top of the thumb, there was almost a flap that was open and was catching on strings as I was going to pick. I would accidentally pick another string with the down flap of the pick. And so this doesn't do that because it hugs the thumb. So I'm getting used to that. Still have the same 2-finger picks that I've had all along, which are working fine. I might try some other ones in the future. So I learned 2 songs. The first song is called Blackberry Blossom. I mentioned in the last video that that was what I wanted to learn how to play in March, the month of March, and I did. So I'm going to play it for you, and I'm sure it won't be perfect, but that's okay. Okay, it's funny because I'm getting to this point now when I play where I have to get in the right headspace as I'm playing. I don't have this issue. I mean, I've been playing the cello for so long, for my whole entire life, so I don't have this issue with cello, and I haven't for decades. But with the banjo, my brain is either just on autopilot, in which case it goes really well, or my brain is thinking, you're doing great, you're almost halfway done, you made it halfway through the song. And then when I start thinking things like that, then I spaz out and hit the wrong, pluck the wrong string or whatever. So I'm having this issue of trying to keep my brain not from thinking, because if it starts thinking too much while I play, I mess up and just feel the music and let it carry me, because I've played it so many times and I know that my brain and my body knows what to do, but it's I have this voice and it'll turn on while I'm playing and just tank whatever I'm doing. So it started to happen during that, but I held it together. So that's kind of funny, just the mental position of being such a novice at an instrument. I haven't had that in so long, and so it's kind of humbling, actually. It's good for me as a high school teacher to remember what it's like to learn something, because I'm constantly teaching people things, and it's important to remember when you're at the beginning how the challenges that you face. So anyway, so that was Blackberry Blossom. A lot of fun, love it, play it a lot, and then about halfway, I learned it, and was just at the point of needing to do a lot of repetition with it by the second week of March. So I decided to learn a second song and start working on a second song. So just about 2 weeks ago, I started working on this is called The Ballad of Jesse James, and I discovered it on Mr. Panky's YouTube channel. It was one of his tutorial videos. I didn't know the tune, but I listened to it and I liked the melody and it made sense to me. Like, I heard it just a couple times and thought, oh, I can like follow that melody, even though it's a piece I've never heard. Like, I was mapping it out in my head, and it just kind of grabbed me. So it is a lot more complicated of a piece. So the piece I just played for you might sound complicated, but it really, I mean, and it is in some ways, but it's from a right hand picking standpoint, it's really using kind of the same pattern for the whole piece. There's two things. There's the forward and reverse roll that just happens over and over again, and then the melodic sections are a little bit different when those happen, but that's it. You just have those two things back and forth. This piece, Ballad of Jesse James, it uses everything. It has alternating rolls, which was from Cripple Creek, the first roll I learned in January and February. It has the forward and reverse rolls. I think it has just some forward rolls, although I'm still a little bit vague on what those are, how those differ from forward and reverse. And then it also has the slides, the hammer-ons, the pull-offs. So like the left-hand technique stuff, which isn't in Blackberry Blossom because it's more melodic fingering in that piece. Well, there is hammer-ons in Blackberry Blossom. So it has it all, and it's just like all mixed together. And so I do have to think when I play this piece, because I have to be thinking about what's coming next and which kind of role is it this time. It's not an autopilot piece for me at this time. Maybe it will be. It probably will be eventually. And I have to go slower on this piece. So I've only been doing it a couple weeks, but I have to go slower because I'm processing like what's coming up. It's kind of like I'm driving in a car for this piece, and I'm like having to look, 50 yards ahead of me constantly to make sure I'm aware of what's happening. Whereas in Blackberry Blossom, it goes best if I'm like driving in the car and kind of just spacing out and not really paying attention to where I'm going. So this is Ballad of Jesse James. I'll play it, and then and you'll hear it another month when it's more polished. So, but again, it's going to go pretty slow. All right. So like I said, it's really slow, but I'm getting there. And I hear Mr. Panky play it on his YouTube channel, and I just like, I can't wait to play it that well. So I have goals. I have some other goals for April, which I'm so excited about. I stumbled across another banjo instructor on YouTube. I'm not deserting Mr. Panky. I love him, and his method of teaching works really well for me. I'm not a tab person. I don't read tabs. I didn't play a lot of guitar, so like I understand what they are, but I don't use them. Mr. Panky's method doesn't involve tabs. It's all just ear and sight, and he explains it. But anyway, I found this guy on YouTube. What's his name? His name is Happy Banjo Dude, and he made me really happy because he has so many tabs out there for all these songs that like I own and love, including a Radiohead song, which is one of my favorite bands. And it's the song Let Down, which is like one of the best songs by Radiohead in my opinion. So I am going to work on a Radiohead song for the month of April. And I'm going to work on a piece by a band called The Deep South, which is, the piece is called In Hell I'll Be in Good Company. And it has a really fun banjo part in it. And I love both of those songs. They're so different. I mean, In Hell I'll Be in Good Company is much more of it's kind of like Wagon Wheel. It's much more of a folky alternative folk style song, and whereas Let Down is just alternative rock. So, but the cool thing about learning these two is I can hopefully get to the point, at least with one of them, where I play them with my phone, or with the music, like listening to the music while I play, because I'm just playing by myself all the time right now. And so I'm excited to be able to play, to feel like I'm playing with something, even if it's just with a recording of a song that I own. So that's my goal for next month. And thanks for listening to my imperfect, but hopefully steadily improving banjo skills. I'm having a blast. I have not missed a day practicing, and I hope to continue that trend. I'll see you guys next time as a more accomplished banjo player. Bye.